Hey guys, welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to talk about why the markets are coming back. In general, the stock market seems to be having a great day, and I think it's because of three different factors. So we're going to talk about each one of those, and then we're going to look at some of the stocks that I've been watching for today and what we can look at going forward. So let's talk about why I think the stocks are up, right? So let's just pull over this article so you guys can kind of read along with me. But as you can see, according to Barron's, the Dow is up because of the Fed decision. Alibaba and Chinese stocks soar, and there's talk about the Russia and Ukraine. So let's start with the first thing. So the Fed is going to meet. They're going to talk about rate hikes. So everyone is kind of thinking that it's going to be about 25 basis points or 0.25%. That's kind of the feeling of everybody, but the market's like stability. So even if things are going to change, even if it's not for the better, people like to know what they're getting into. So now that we have an idea on what the hike is going to be, we don't know how many hikes there are going to be this year, but we have at least the first one kind of in the back of our mind, right? So that's providing some stability to the markets. The second thing is the Chinese government has said that they're going to start to try to stabilize their economy. Their market has crashed. They're considering stimulus checks or some sort of funding to companies in order to stabilize their market. So we've talked about the crashing China stocks in the past, and with all that good news, their stocks are shooting up today. So we're going to look at some of those in a little bit. The next thing is the Russia and Ukraine tensions seem to be slowing down. At least they're talking, the two sides. So that's giving the market a much-needed boost as well. I think also just the fact that the markets have been so down, and we're going to see on the SPY here, the markets have crashed so far down that they're just looking for any kind of good news to shoot back up again, right? It's not even like we're kind of moving sideways. We're just in a downward trend here. So any good news is good news. So when you couple three good things together, the certainty of the hikes, the Chinese market, and the Russia-Ukraine kind of coming to hopefully an end, you just see a giant boost of stocks, right? So that's the SPY. Looks like it's curling back upwards. We have a lot of momentum today. Big jump. There's a gap, obviously a good gap. The NASDAQ is up as well. The Russell is up as well, which is very good to see because that's been trending worse than the other major indexes. So the VIX is down, another good sign, right? We're trying to get down to this 20. That's what we want, 20. So this is a big gap down 5% at the time of this recording. So now let's look at the crazy Chinese stocks. These stocks are going crazy, absolutely nuts. And I'm not saying anything, but in the last video I made, I did say that these are buys. So take that for what it's worth. I'm not perfect. I don't time things perfectly. But I did say that they're very beaten down, and if you're holding for the long term, or if you're looking to hold for the long term, then they might be a great buying point. So let's just take a look at some of the crazy Chinese stocks and how they're doing today. So Alibaba is up 25% today. It's tremendous. This is a huge gap up. BEKE, Key Holdings, even better than Alibaba. They're up 56% today. Baidu up 25% today. Just crazy numbers. Huya, HUYA, up 33% today. JD.com, another very popular Chinese stock, 30% today. NEO stock, very beaten down EV company, 20% up today. Sea Unlimited. This is another company that I believed in for the long term. It had some great upward movement for a long time, and then just came down with everything else. They're up 12% today. There are some stocks that are related to Chinese that you don't normally think of. For instance, Wynn Resorts, they're up 6% today because they have a resort in China. So they're feeling some good news. The other one is Starbucks, which is up 5% today. They have 12% of their stocks, 12% of their revenue comes from Chinese companies and Chinese area, so they're up today. In addition to the Chinese stocks, a lot of the very oversold growth companies are seeing a tremendous boost today. Like I said, just because the market's seeing some good news and everything is popping back up, these beaten down stocks are seeing a tremendous rise up too. So Workhorse is up 12% at the time of this recording, midday of Wednesday. WIMI is up 14%. Voyager Digital is up 8%. Everything seems to be doing very well, so I'm only going to pick like the highest percentages right now. So RIDE, ticker symbol RIDE, Lordstown Motors is up 7%. Planet 13 Holdings is up 12%. They're doing well today. Jumia, which is like the African Amazon for e-commerce, they're up 11% on the day. So that's another big move. Fiverr is up 6% on the day. One stock that I don't really talk about too often, but this is a good Bitcoin stock. EBON, ticker symbol EBON, is up 10%. Desktop Metal is up 11% for the day. Beyond Meat, thankfully, is up 11% on the day. That's a big one for me personally. Beyond Meat's been killing me, so those are kind of what I'm looking at. Now I think the market is going to shift a little bit towards a rebound, right? So looking back at the SPY, which is up 1% today, we're seeing more momentum moving upwards. One thing to be careful, though, is with all these Chinese stocks and high growth stocks rising so much today, you want to be careful not to buy at the highs, right? You don't want to buy Alibaba and BK on a 25% day or a 56% day, or Baidu on a 25% day, right? Look at this tremendous gap up on BEKE. You don't want to buy, well, I don't know, maybe you do if you're looking for the long term, but maybe give it a couple days to kind of stabilize, right? Just because there's a jolt of good news doesn't mean that it's going to get right back to where it was back, just $55, let's say that, right? We've seen jumps in the past, and they could continue to sell off in the long term, or I guess the medium term, right? So just be careful. You don't want to buy things when they're shooting up. You want to buy it before they're shooting up. So anyway, guys, that's what we're seeing today. Looks like it's some good news in the market, and we'll see if it continues for tomorrow. See you guys on the next one.